Well, look, thanks so much to Atlas VPN for sponsoring today's video. A huge shout out again to Atlas VPN, who are currently running their Black Friday price cut deal. I would recommend you go and take a look, save 86%, 6 months extra, £1.40 per month it works out as. And of course, Atlas VPN, created by cybersecurity experts and IT engineers, millions of people are using Atlas VPN. The goal of Atlas VPN to make the internet more accessible and safer for everyone. Lots that Atlas VPN can do for you. Check out the link down below. But it stops ads and malware, blocks all malicious links, ads and trackers, and notifies you when someone is trying to steal your data. So do check out the Black Friday price cut for the latest Atlas VPN deal. Check out the link below. Well, I do have to say, I think the Dutch election that we recently saw the results of, the fallout for, and of course that I previewed in the run-up to, shows you how dynamic democracy is with a proportional representation system where you actually have voters represented properly. Imagine that, represented in a proportional system where what you vote for is basically what you get, a minimum threshold to get elected, and then you see a vast array of different parties competing with one another, all securing representation for Dutch voters. I think it shows you actually how stagnant, sterile and outdated first past the post is by comparison. And of course, the shock headline outcome of the Dutch election that no one really saw coming. We did see in the last few days of the Dutch campaign, Geert Wilders building momentum with some strong debate performances. But the end result being, of course, Geert Wilders' party ending up with 37 seats. And Wilders saying, it's news that we won the Dutch elections, get used to it. Many more European countries, he says, will follow. Freedom and patriotism, our own nations and people first, is the new political reality. And we saw Geert Wilders greeting his newly elected MPs, 37 of them, including him in total.
Vrienden, van harte welkom allemaal. Het is, ja, Fleur en ik hebben wel eens voor de grap tegen elkaar gezegd van stel je voor dat we deze tafel helemaal vol krijgen. En het is gelukt.
Nou, meer dan vol.
Het is gelukt. We staan het glas met jullie heffen. En dat glas, dat heffen we niet op ons, maar dat heffen we op al onze kiezers. Dankzij wie wij hier zitten en voor wie wij de komende jaren keihard gaan werken op Nederland en de Nederlanders. Yes.
And I have to say, I think it's pretty disgusting and shows you actually the challenge that we have in the UK. Of course, we have the advantage of Brexit, but governments right across Europe facing this dilemma moving forward, that as soon as a party like Wilders wins, you have people, even when there's a decisive election result, come out straight away and say, actually, there's all sorts of policies here, even though they've been voted for by Dutch voters, that they simply can't happen because unelected people in foreign organisations say they can't. So you've got, for instance, the EU, UN conventions apparently all limiting Geert Wilders' options, and you've got an immigration lawyer there, of course, saying there's basically nothing he can do that won't get shot down by the courts. Now, of course, you've had a situation in the UK where the government have allowed the Rwanda policy to basically be blocked after an ECHR intervention. I think that's pretty shocking, pretty pathetic. But I also think that's pretty disturbing that after an election result in a country that's meant to have a democratic system, you've immediately got people saying, oh no, actually, the policies that people voted for are going to be blocked by the courts. Is that really democracy? And as I said, we in the UK should clearly leave the ECHR and get the hell on with it. As for the prospect of Geert Wilders becoming the next Dutch Prime Minister, because of course his party won the most seats, but it doesn't necessarily mean he's going to govern as Prime Minister unless other parties are willing to govern with him in a coalition. Indications seem to be that perhaps the VVD Conservatives could prop up a Wilders government, though others indicating that they won't join a Wilders-led government, and Wilders himself there saying it's very disappointing that the VVD says, without having negotiated for a minute, that it does not want to participate in a centre-right cabinet. And he says he doesn't think that's what VVD voters want either. Pity, and he hopes they change their minds. And Wilders also pointing to this piece of research. And as viewers of this channel will know, I've talked about Peter Umzicht's New Social Contract Party, who came fourth in the end and did win a decent chunk of seats. I've talked about the Farmer Citizen Movement, the BBB, the sensation that they were before seeing some of their support go to some of the other parties. Well, the research is that you could see, and voters want to see, a coalition, a cabinet with the Wilders Party, plus the VVD Conservative, plus the New Social Contract, and the Farmer Citizen Movement, which I would suggest would be a bit of a nightmare for many in Brussels. Of course, Wilders' party actually advocating a referendum on leaving the European Union. And you see here, when it comes to what voters want, the combination of the PVV, that's Wilders' party, the VVD, the New Social Contract and the Farmer Citizen Movement, 61% of voters supporting that combination of parties to form the next Dutch government, including 84% of VVD Conservative voters, 87% of the New Social Contract supporters, and 99% of the Farmer Citizen Movement BBB supporters happy for their party to enter into a coalition with Geert Wilders. So we'll have to wait and see where this all ends up. Will Geert Wilders end up being the next Dutch Prime Minister or not? Can he get the support from these other parties? But as I said, I think this has shown you how dynamic proportional representation is. Let me know what you make of all of that in the comments below though, guys. I will keep bringing you all the very latest on this and more, of course. So please do whack this video a quick thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And of course, as ever, cheers for watching.